So Facebook already has more than 1.6 billion normal users, and now it wants business users too. Joining us to talk all about Facebook's ambitions with Workplace is Carrie Flynn from Mashable. How's it going, Carrie?
Amazing, guys. How are you?
Doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Today's the official launch of Workplace, of course, known during its beta as Facebook for Work. First and foremost, is this a competitor to Slack, or is this something even more, do you think?
I would definitely define it as a competitor to Slack. They're going after really every major player in the enterprise space. They're trying to connect really, just like Facebook's mission is, everyone in the world. And so really there's no stopping the size of the business they hope gets onto Facebook at Work, which is now called Workplace, FYI. Keep going back and forth there, honestly, in my own talking of it. So yeah, really nothing too small or too big. When I asked them about it, they said they're interested in startups. They already have Fortune 500 companies on there. So I think their largest player still is the Royal Bank of Scotland, where it's upper in the hundreds of thousands are using Facebook at Work.
So tell us a little bit about the feature set here. I mean, is this literally like taking Facebook and applying it to a work setting inside the enterprise, or does it add extra features that we don't have on the regular platform? What can you tell us about that?
It's very similar to Facebook. It's what the team told me is 95% of what you see on Facebook is directly on Workplace. So really the similar feeling of having a news feed, of being a part of groups, of running events, and then all the posts you can see, you can like, you can comment. And then there's a messenger service that's very similar to what Facebook Messenger is like. You can have live video, audio calling. So they're very similar. I guess the major differences are the fact that everything you do on Facebook's Workplace is owned by your employer. And similar to having a company email, your account can be shut down by your employer. Also, just the security settings, everything is run by an outside administrator rather than you yourself. But feature-wise, it's very similar. I guess one other difference is they're now allowing multi-company groups, which means that as long as both parties have Facebook's Workplace, they can kind of communicate like you would via email or another service.
Will there be ads?
So yes, very great point you have there. There are no ads. So the business plan that they're doing by having a no ad free, you can't play Candy Crush or any of those games where Facebook makes their money off. Sorry about that. But yeah, they're doing a pay per user model where they're only charging per active user. And it's a different scale depending on the size of the company. So if you're under 1,000, it's $3 per user, active user. Then it goes from 1,000, 10,000, $2, and then $1 if you're above 10,000. So they're, again, charging on an active user basis and no contract for now, which means you could start paying for Workplace, and then if it doesn't, you don't doesn't work well with your company, you could terminate immediately.
Now, is it designed to make workers more social, or is it designed to make workers more efficient by using these social tools? Because I know there are a lot of businesses that would probably their knee-jerk reaction to bringing social into the workplace is, well, no, we're trying to keep our employees off of social so that they can focus on their work. How does that come into play here?
I think Facebook honestly defines it as both. They renamed it Facebook at Work to Workplace to kind of get to the issue of what you're talking about, is they don't want it to seem like you're using the social aspects of Facebook and kind of not doing your job at work. They want it to be, hey, this is your workplace and your productivity online. And we're just trying to help you connect more. That doesn't mean that there isn't social elements of it outside of your day-to-day productivity. For instance, so you can be planning a project, and you can also be doing after-hour events through the network. A lot of the companies that I spoke to really see that being a big part, and the companies I spoke to don't really have a problem with that right now. It's like the viewpoint of, our employees are getting along more, and doing things more together. They're working and interacting with people that they may have never met before.
So do you think it's an effort to for employers to get more information about their employees, whether they're happy, what they like, what they don't like, and where does privacy come in? What about things that might affect your health insurance that comes from your employer?
Yeah, I definitely see the employers really being able to glean more insights and really studying. One big aspect of Facebook's Workplace is using Facebook's Live tool. So there are multiple examples of CEOs of companies and other product managers using it to gain instant feedback and really having these conference calls with their employees. So that's going well. And obviously, too, you can run a poll. You can do other features to really keep up to date with your employees. So yes, that's definitely a benefit. As to security and privacy, I mean, whether or not you use an email or part of your employees like health insurance, they already had that information. From my perspective and understanding, there's nothing kind of additionally sketchy about using Facebook's Workplace, but that's definitely something to keep a tab on in the future.
So you wouldn't be like liking Oreos pages or like Marlboro cigarettes pages or something, and then maybe saying, well, I don't know about your health insurance.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important to note that with Facebook's Workplace, there are only closed groups. And like we talked about earlier, there are no ads. So there's nothing kind of offline that's being gleaned, unlike, as we know, with regular Facebook, where there's, web browsing and kind of other information and interests about you are really informing your newsfeed. Here, it's just based on what you do on Facebook's Workplace. Important to note, too, it's very separate profiles. Your personal Facebook and your Facebook Workplace, if you use it at your employer, are two different profiles.
Yeah. Probably a good thing. I could see this working really well for mid to large, like really large size. If they buy all into it and everybody's participating and sharing photos about the projects they're working on and groups and all that kind of stuff, I could see that being a really useful tool. I don't know about for TWiT though. Maybe a little too small. I mean, we're all like right in the same area, so maybe it's not necessary. What about Mashable? You think Mashable is going to get in on the workplace train?
I don't know. I mean, we are a decently sized company, and I can tell you there are people that I don't talk to here who would be nice to, kind of have that excuse to connect and be able to reach out. We'll see. Definitely, one big point that I think is, at least Facebook is really trying to push about it, is the fact that it's really global. With a lot of companies they're talking to, it's where you have offices all over the world, maybe unlike you guys and other small companies, it's really for you're connecting your worker in London to your worker in New York, and really helping merge those. And also your workers who are really mobile.
Right. Awesome stuff. Carrie Flynn with Mashable. Tell people where they can follow all your work online.
You can follow me on Twitter or Facebook. Both profiles are Carrie M. Flynn. And just go to Mashable.com to read all of our content, not just mine.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on today, Carrie. We really appreciate it.